So now I want to cover something that might seem really boring and not necessary, but believe me that it is. The manual in GameMaker Studio explains how everything works, every function, every built-in variable, all of the stuff, and it does a very good job at it. If you've ever done any programming and you've looked at manuals, then you probably know a lot of times they're really bad. The technical documentation can just be awful and useless and lead you to look anywhere else. But fortunately, that's not the case here. So the way to access the manual is by coming up and clicking on Help and Open Manual. But I never use that because when you want help on something, you usually are looking at it and you're trying to understand it. So if you put your mouse over or next to whatever you click on it, and you put your mouse there and you press F1, it will open up exactly what you're on and what it's about, assuming it can find it. If it's a variable that you've made, that won't be useful, but if it's anything else, it will be able to find it. So I'll press F12 to maximize our screen real estate here. And you can see that this is telling us all about why, which is really cool. It has a really good explanation for it. And down here on the left, you have going back. So this is like the hierarchy. Where does this built-in property come from? It comes from instance variables, and those are made up of instances. And then language reference, scripting, contents, and then you're at the very front here. Over here on this side is all of the stuff that it has. So looking through this can be a little daunting because there's tons and tons of stuff in here. But I do encourage you to come in when you are confused about something, or if you want to know that if GameMaker can do this or that. There is a search function up here, so you can search for something. And there's also an index if you want to just look that way, if you know the actual name of what you're looking for. And then, of course, whenever you're typing anything out, you can let autocomplete come in. So if I typed in something like SPR, you can see it's going to come up with a lot of options. It has built-in variables, constants, and functions that you can access. And you could just click on one of them, have it autofill for you, and then press F1, open up the manual, and see exactly what that does. This is a great way to just learn. So in the manual, it has a great description. It has the syntax of how you use it, the arguments, which we'll get to later, but then it tells you what it returns and some examples. And usually these examples are actually really useful. So check those out. A lot of times what I will do is I will just open up the manual on something, scroll right down to the example and look at it, because my knowledge lends it to looking at example code. But if you're not quite there yet, read the description and you'll probably understand what it does. If you don't, after looking at the manual, then ask questions. I am here for you. I will be available to answer questions, and so just let me know and reach out, and I will do my best to help you. And I'm sure the other students taking the course will also help you, because let me tell you something. If you are struggling at all, you are not the only one. I guarantee there's another student, probably another 5 to 20 to 100, that are struggling with the exact same thing you are. And if you remain silent, you won't be able to find the help, and then they won't be able to get the help either. So speak up, ask questions. If I'm never clear enough, if I don't explain something in a way that resonates and connects with you, then ask, and I will explain it, and I will answer to the best of my ability. And what I want to talk about next is actually when you ask for help, I'm going to give you some examples of the worst way to do it and the best way to do it, because asking questions can actually be more difficult than you think, and as a designer is one of your biggest skills that you have to work on.